Kyle Larson is now the first driver of the 8 drivers to punch his ticket into the championship four after his win at Texas. And today's race was okay. It was okay. I mean, one stage was good, one stage was not so good, and then the final 30 laps was absolute chaos. Classic Texas, or classic Mountain Halves all year, to be honest. So let's go ahead and dive on into this episode. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile for Day back again, and welcome back to another episode of NRR. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2021, what was the name of today's race? The 2021 Autotrader EchoPark Automotive 500 from Texas Motor Speedway. And I was there. I was actually there in person. I have the video of me going to the race and stuff. Of course, I'll make a vlog all about that, or it is a vlog, but I'll upload that vlog probably later this week, and I'll show you the goodies that I got from Texas Motor Speedway, also coming up later this week. But for now, we're doing today's review, and this race was pretty solid in my opinion. It was a decent race, especially to go in person. The first stage wasn't that bad. Second one was boring. It was definitely boring. And then the third stage, it was getting pretty wild in those last few laps. So it was a pretty decent race in my opinion. So once again, we're going to be looking at our top 10 finishers. We're going to rate the race, talk about our biggest story of the race. We're going to look at drivers that had a good and bad race, and finally round this episode up with the playoff standings after today's one, because there's a huge playoff shakeup. And guys, trust me, if you saw my Cup Series playoff predictions on Friday, you may be agreeing with me right now. So let's go ahead and dive on into this episode. Finishing in first was Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson able to get the job done. Technically, he swept Texas this season, won the All-Star race on a weird package, and now wins on the 750 package here for Texas, for a race that actually counts. His 8th win of the year, his 3rd win in the postseason. He won at Bristol, and now 2 wins in a row, wins at the Roval, and now wins here today at Texas. And besides, this is also his 4th win in the postseason overall. His first ever win in the playoffs came at Dover in 2019. That punched his ticket to the round of 8. He did not make the championship four, but still a dominating performance by Kyle Larson. Led, I believe, over 250 laps in this race. Just had a very nice, clean, solid race. He won the second stage. No one could beat Kyle Larson. Byron was his biggest challenger, but even Byron, sometimes he would gain on him, sometimes he wouldn't. It was just pretty even between those two, but Larson had the car to beat today. So a really nice solid race for Kyle Larson. He's now into the championship four at Phoenix. He won, he's never won at Phoenix before, but he could have won there if it wasn't for those pit road penalties. So really for Kyle Larson, for him to win the championship, no mistakes by them, and they should be all good. But congrats to Kyle Larson for getting the win. Finishing in second was William Byron. Byron was the second best car all day, and of course the second best Hendrick car all day as well. He had a really nice solid race. He almost got that stage 2 victory over Kyle Larson, but Larson was able to get it even with that lap car coming in his way. Byron had a very nice solid race. He did have a bit of a run-in with Tyler Reddick towards the end of the race, and I was just thinking, man, first Byron gets screwed by Reddick at the Charlotte Roval to cost him a win to get him into the round of 8, and now Reddick starts to run him over on the track. I would not be surprised if Byron or Reddick start to throw hands at one point. Byron needs to, show Tyler Reddick a bit of a lesson, because I can see how that's annoying, and I'm starting to feel bad for Willie B. Definitely does not deserve that. He's a really good race car driver. So decent day for William Byron in the 2014. This was what their first top 5 since Bristol a month ago. So we'll see what Byron can do going into Kansas. They should have a nice solid race there. They could probably get the win, but we'll have to see. But solid race for William Byron. Finishing in third was Christopher Bell. A nice strong run for Christopher Bell in the 20 team, because not only that, they got 5th at Talladega, they get 8th last week at the Roval, and they get a nice solid 3rd place finish here today, because they finished 3rd at Texas last year in the 95 car, and they do it again here in the 20 car, showing you Christopher Bell is really good at this track. The more experience he gets, he'll definitely take the checker flag here from Texas one day in his career, but we'll see. But a nice strong run for Christopher Bell. He had a nice solid day. Heck, he finishes 3rd. Heck, where else are the other JGR teammates? Like Kyle Busch got 8th today. So decent run for Christopher Bell and the 20 team, and we'll see if they can get any more checker flags towards the end of the season. Finishing in 4th was Brad Keselowski. For Brad Keselowski, had a really nice strong run today. I was very shocked, but I said in my playoff predictions video that if there was any track Keselowski would have some really good luck at, it would be at Texas. This would be his best bet. He did not get the win, but he gets a nice solid 4th place finish, which I think is decent. So it's a really good step up, because coming into this race, they were minus 16, and I believe coming out of this race, I believe they are fourth, right above the cut line. So a really nice strong run for Brad Keselowski. But we're heading to two other tracks where Keselowski has struggled this season, so there has to be some good coming their way, but we'll see. Anything can happen in these next two races for Keselowski because I feel like he could be in danger, but we'll just have to wait and see. But a nice strong run for Keselowski and the two team, and basically for Team Penske, except for Joey Logano. Rounding out the top 5 and 5th was Kevin Harvick. A nice, solid run for Kevin Harvick, especially after that dumb idiot move or video game controller disconnected move that he made at the Roval, getting intimidated by Chase Elliott, I bet. But he had a really nice, strong run today. He got a nice, solid 5th place finish. First top 5 since what? The Bristol race where the Elliott and Harvick thing went down, but hopefully there's no more confrontations between those two for the rest of the season. But a decent run for Harvick indeed. Nothing really to say. He just ran really well, stayed out of trouble throughout all the craziness that happened early and at the end of this race. So nice solid top 5 for Kevin Harvick. Well, doesn't really mean anything for him. All he wants is to get that one win of the season. Can he get it? We'll have to wait and find out. But solid run for Harvick and the 14. Finishing 6th was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney also had a pretty strong run. I thought he would get a top 5, but he got 6th, which is good enough. So decent run for Ryan Blaney and the 12 team. I did say they would be eliminated after this round, but I feel like that they're the driver in this round of 8 that could be very close to making the championship 4, just comes up short, just like he did in 2019, I believe. So we'll see what happens with Ryan Blaney, but a nice strong run for them. They just got to keep up these nice solid momentum finishes. So we'll see what he can do at Kansas, because I feel like he can have a nice solid run there. Martinsville, we'll see. Anything can happen, but strong run from Blaney and the 12 team. Finishing in 7th was Chase Elliott. After starting from the rear, Chase Elliott bounces back to get a nice solid top 10 finishing in 7th, but towards the middle of the race, they weren't really running in the top 10. They were outside the top 10, in 14th or 15th or something. So they definitely are not really that good at Texas. So it was good for them to rebound and get a nice solid top 10 finish in that 9 car. So that's a bit of an issue for Chase Elliott, is that you cannot have these issues where having to start from the rear and having to make your way through the field, because that's going to be hard to do at Martinsville, because one bad restart could end your race at Martinsville. If you get bumped into someone, they knock the radiator out of the car or something, or damage the radiator, anything can happen. So solid run from Chase Elliott, a nice rebound, but these tech issues with the 9 team has to come to an end right now, because this cannot happen, especially in the playoffs. Finishing in 8th was Kyle Busch. It's a pretty decent run for Kyle Busch, I have to say. He won this race a year ago, gets 8th today. He also had a pretty nice solid run. He was very lucky to miss that wreck down the backstretch on, I believe, lap 30. Same thing with Kevin Harvick, but he came out of that clean and stuff. And Kyle Busch had a few mishaps today. He kind of went wide in turn 2 and stuff, lost some spots, but overall, after the day, he gets 8th place. A solid finish for them, but I believe they're still above the cut line, I think, but I think they need better runs than an 8th place finish to really make it into the championship 4. So solid run for Kyle Busch and the 18 team, and we'll see what they can do heading into Kansas. Finishing in 9th was Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was definitely another driver that I thought was really good, even though he's not in the playoffs. Texas could be one of his tracks. I mean, he did finish runner-up here in the summer race last year, so decent run for Tyler Reddick in the 8th car. They definitely had their run-in with William Byron and stuff. They were running each other very hard, so I do feel bad for Byron. In fact, I think it was Reddick coming on to Byron, but I couldn't really get a good view because I was all the way in turn 1 while that was happening in turn 3, so whatever, doesn't matter. But still, Reddick needs to watch out because Byron could get him back, but you don't know where and when, so we'll see. But decent run for Reddick in the 8 team to get a nice solid top 10 finish. Should have had a top 5, but you get what you get. And then finally rounding out the top 10 and 10th was Daniel Schwartz. First time Daniel Schwartz has scored a top 10 finish since Nashville. It's been a while for that number 99 team, but they finally get back into a nice solid top 10 finish for him and Justin Marks and Pitbull, of course, and Team Trackhouse overall. So really nice solid run for Daniel Schwartz and the 99 team, because they were running in the top 15 mostly all race long. So very nice solid run for Daniel Schwartz and the 99 team, and we'll see what they can do in Kansas, I guess. And now let's rate this race. This race, I thought, was a pretty nice, solid, good race. A lot of people gave it a lot of hate and slander coming into this weekend, but I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I did say the second stage was not so good, so it was a decent race. So if I had to rate this race, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was an okay race, a decent, solid, good race, in my opinion, for Texas Motor Speedway. Definitely better than last year with that freaking rain problem. And then, was it better than the 2020 summer race? I can't really say, but I thought it was a really nice, solid, good race for Texas Motor Speedway standards. So hopefully we have some more better races at Texas. So I can't wait to see what the next gen car can do. Hopefully we'll have better racing, but I think it's the track overall, and that's what it is actually. So I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys are giving in the comment section below. Now it's time to talk about the biggest story of the race, and it was the playoff struggles by these three former champions. Oh, two former champions and Denny Hamlin and stuff. So there were huge struggles for these three drivers, huge incidents for them. So we're going to take them off one at a time, and we will not be counting these guys for drivers who had a bad race because we're already talking about them. Those are just for drivers who aren't in the playoffs. So let's talk about these three drivers who had a struggle today at Texas. First off, we have Denny Hamlin. Even with the struggles, Denny Hamlin still rebounded to get a nice solid 11th place finish, so kudos to them. So their first non-top 10 finish of the playoffs so far this season, but still, Denny Hamlin, I thought they were running pretty solid. They definitely had like a top 5, top 10 car all day, probably like top 5, 6, 7, whatever. But then, of course, during the race, they did have some struggles and stuff. They did have a tire cut down when they made contact with Ryan Blaney. They went around, and of course, the fan base around me, they were just cheering that Denny Hamlin wrecked and stuff. So I was thinking, okay. And then he also took damage after that incident on the backstretch where Chase Briscoe and Chris Buescher made contact, and then Hamlin had nowhere to go, and Chris Buescher made contact with him. So did suck for Denny Hamlin. But since there were a lot of drivers that were a lap down, Hamlin was able to rebound and get a decent 11th place finish. So I would say Hamlin had a neutral day, but still not a huge thing that you want to see, because one more incident like this for Denny Hamlin, then there's a possibility of him being eliminated. So that does suck for Denny Hamlin, but they came out okay with an 11th place finish. So I would say it's been a neutral day for Hamlin and the 11 team. So all they can do right now is just head into Kansas. Finishing in 25th was Truex Jr. And guys, I even said this in my playoff predictions video on Friday. Truex, I have a bit of a worry for him, because I feel like that there's a possibility of them being eliminated after some sort of struggles that they've been having, like at the Roval. He's good at the Roval. How does he struggle? I have no idea. So that does suck right there for Truex Jr. And then finishing 25th today, that's two finishes in a row for Truex Jr. that are outside the top 20. So that is not good for him. And we're heading to Kansas, where anything can happen, and Martinsville, where things could go wrong in an instant. So really, like I said, it is very, very, very crazy. Anything can happen. You just don't know when and where. So that does suck for Truex Jr. I believe they came down on the Daniel Suarez, and then that hit Truex up into the wall in turn 4. Nothing on Daniel Suarez. I think it was that was kind of all on Truex. Kind of went down on him, or probably a spotter for saying that he was clear or something. So that does suck for Truex Jr. But these mistakes can definitely cost them. So we'll see what they can do at Kansas. But right now, Truex is not in a good spot. Probably another bad race for them. They are in a must-win situation. And finally, the last driver that I believe that had a struggle was Joey Logano. He was running a really nice, solid race. He's pretty decent at Texas. But unfortunately, engine blew when he was in turn 2. Nothing on Joey Logano, just very frustrating for the 22, because I believe they're like over 40 points below the cut line now in 8th. So they are definitely in a must-win for these next 2 races, because he got taken out pretty early. So does suck for Joey Logano, but we'll have to see, because they need a huge rebound. We'll see what they can do at Kansas. They won that race a year ago. At Martinsville, it's either or for the 22 team. So we'll see what Joey Logano can do going into these next 2 races of the round of 8. Now, here are the drivers right there had a good race. First up with Michael McDowell. Shout out to them getting a nice solid 17th place finish. Definitely a good solid run for that team. BJ McLeod gets 22nd. A very nice solid run for them. Got to give them a shout out. David Starr gets 23rd. Another solid finish. I think that's his best finish of the season, I believe. Next up is Josh Bilicki. I'm sorry. He got 26th, a nice solid run for them. Then on to Garrett Smithley, got 24th, a nice solid run for them. Then Timmy Hill gets 27th, a really good solid run for Timmy Hill. It has to come at Texas, of course, a good solid run at Texas. We all remember from the iRacing race last year. And then finally Chase Briscoe, I'll shout him out because even though he did finish 15th and stuff, he did come back from those 2 incidents he's been in. The one with Denny Hamlin, which might have been payback from the Indy Road Course, and also from, and also he had that incident with Chris Buescher when Buescher wrecked, and Hamlin was also involved. So he was able to come back, get 15th. Also, got to think there were not a lot of cars were a lap down, but he was able to come back in a nice solid 15th place finish. And now here are the drivers who I thought had a bad race. Kurt Busch, I believe it was early in stage 3. They had an issue. I think they got up into the wall, made some contact with somebody. I don't fully remember, but he got a 16th place finish. They definitely had a top 10 fast car, so it does suck for Kurt Busch and the one team. Now on to Chris Buescher in the 17. Of course, he was in that incident when he made contact with Chase Briscoe into the wall. So suck for Chris Buescher. Definitely should have had a better day, but finished 21st. 28th was Ross Chastain. Chastain, can't really say if he was gonna have the best day out there, because not really much happened, because he was taken out in that first wreck and stuff, but he was still able to continue. But 28th, not good for them. Anthony Alfredo, of course, that big fire from him. Glad he came out okay, but comes out with a terrible 29th place finish. And then finally, Bubba Wallace. I think it was Bubba Wallace who caused the wreck that happened down the backstretch. He finishes 32nd, so sucks for them, but they did cause it, so whatever. Now on to part 2. Now on to the final few drivers who were also involved in that early wreck. Ryan Newman, also early in the wreck, he was taken out as well. Finishes abysmal 35th. Justin Haley also involved, finishes 37th. Alex Bowman as well, my boy. Ruined my day, but finishes 33rd. And then the two JTG Doherty cars are also involved. Priest gets 37th, and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets 34th. So those are the drivers who I thought had a good and bad race. And now on to the playoff standings. Now heading into Kansas, the second race of the round of 8. Larson gets the win. Ryan Blaney is now plus 17. Hamlin plus 9, Kyle Busch plus 8 above the cut line. Then below the cut line, you have Chase Elliott minus 8, Keselowski minus 15, Truex minus 22, and Logano minus 43. So between these drivers, I feel like that if Truex and Keselowski have one bad race, those two are definitely in a must-win situation. Logano's already in a must-win situation, to be honest. Chase Elliott can still possibly point his way into the playoffs, but we still have 2 more races to go, as those are your playoff standings heading into Kansas and coming out of Texas. And that's going to do it for me. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I said before, I will be having my vlog up from the race up soon, and then also the goodies that I got from Texas Motor Speedway. Probably have the vlog up on Tuesday, and the stuff I got from the racetrack on Thursday, so watch out for that. Also, NASCAR Gaming 48 video, watch out for that coming tomorrow. So if you want to subscribe to my gaming channel, link will be in the description, and go check it out. If you want to follow me on Instagram, link will be in the description. If you want to subscribe to this channel, come on guys, totally free. Please, it would mean a lot to me. Just go ahead and subscribe after this video, and that's going to do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is NASCAR Mobile 48. Peace out.